Coming to you on August the 8th. Hope you've had a wonderful day. Proverbs chapter 8. I remember being in a group on an occasion. It was a dialogue, a discussion, and a person was asked, "What's your favorite topic of conversation?" And the person paused for a moment, smiled, and said, "You mean besides myself?" It's interesting that in Proverbs chapter 8, some subheadings say wisdom's call. Wisdom is talking about herself. And isn't it interesting, at least by the number of verses, it's the longest chapter in the book of Proverbs. I've always kind of smiled about that, For many of us, it's a little easier to talk about our stuff and ourselves than other things. But nevertheless, not the point of the Vesper today. It's also been called, Proverbs chapter 8, the personification of wisdom, the personification of wisdom. So what's really cool, you see I've got my journal here. Let me encourage you to continue to make notes, use your journal, make some notes, make observations, use a good Bible study method. And along with that, as you do that, you can compare and contrast. It's what we call connecting or correlating. The best commentary on the Bible is the Bible. So you can compare and contrast some of these statements to the words or teachings of Jesus. For example, Sermon on the Mount, Matthew 5, 6, and 7, or teachings found in the book of James, wisdom literature in the New Testament. Compare and contrast some of these with Proverbs chapter 8. It's really pretty cool. Just one word today, and it's the word listen. It's found in verse 6, verses 32, 33, and 34. Listen, listen, listen. To hear, to hearken, to pay attention, to give it your full focus so that you can learn, think, act, and feel in new ways. The other thing that's kind of interesting, and we'll pick this up a little bit later in one of the later chapters, but it does appear twice in this chapter, is the word better. The word better. It's this compare and contrast. I talked about some of the parallelisms, how sometimes they echo the same teaching, or sometimes they expand or enhance the same teaching. Sometimes they contrast. They're antithetical, they're the opposite, and or they increase or go better. A couple of verses here in Proverbs chapter 8 tell us and remind us that wisdom is actually better than rubies. Wisdom is better than gold, even better than fine gold. And we'll look at some of that a little later on as we go through that. But the key word today is going to be the word listen, to hearken, to hear, to pay attention, to focus, to change, adjust, do all those kinds of things. And the great promise is in verse 35. Wisdom says, "Those who find me find life and obtain favor from the Lord." Let me repeat that, Proverbs 8, verse 35. "Those who find me find life and obtain favor from the Lord." I don't know of any relationship in life that could not be improved by me being a better listener, especially not only hearing from God, but hearing God as he speaks to me, and especially through his word. Listen, 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 listen. And whoever finds me finds life and obtains favor from the Lord. Hope you've had a wonderful day. God bless you. Have a good evening.